Welcome back, everybody. Wild Willy here with episode 17 of our OP and early DLC walkthrough. So last episode was devoted to beating the Godskin Noble so that we could get the plus 7 Somber Stone. And if you've been following the walkthrough and you've been able to beat him, you should be able to get your Somber Weapon, which we're using the Bloodhound's Fang. You should be able to get your Bloodhound's Fang up to +9. So I'm not going to do that, and just in case somebody had bad luck, they aren't able to beat him, they threw sleep pots all over the room, they ran out of crafting materials for them, and they just can't get past him. I feel like I did a pretty good job of showing you worst case scenario of what that fight looks like. Purposely made some mistakes, didn't summon my imps early, that sort of thing. So anyway, let's come over here. We're gonna grab the Smithing Stone 5. And I do want to spend some runes and level up one more time. So let's just go to the round table hold. If you were able to level up your Bloodhound's Fang to +9, great, go ahead and do it. You have the runes to do it. You can go to the bird farm and grab another level. What we're doing here isn't going to affect anything that we're doing. I just want to grab a level because there's a chance I might die doing this first attempt. So we need, let's go down here to status. I'm at 21.5, I need 26.7, so I need about 5,200. Gonna pop into my inventory. And again, if you're following along, you should have all this. So 62.50, that's fine. I can just get more kukris and arrows. I'll probably just buy kukris, but we're gonna go ahead and level up. And again, I'm putting another point into endurance. The reason for that is we are working our way towards getting a heavier armor set, and that also just gives us more stamina. Okay, so we just have the Arsenal Charm, the regular one. There's a +1 and then the Great Jars. For the purpose of the walkthrough, I'm going to say that the Great Jars is a little too advanced, not very beginner friendly to get over there and grab that. But the +1 we should be able to grab. It's a bit of a hassle, but you know, we'll kind of see how things go. And if we need to grab it, we'll go pick it up. Because we basically need to go through 2 dungeons to do that safely. So anyway, we can go ahead and go down here, and I can take off my sleep pots. And then let's go back to Castle Redmane, and we're going to start talking about Radon. So again, you know, you can do this any way that you want. Again, I'm trying to keep this beginner friendly for, you know, rusty players, new players, Nightreign players who've never played Elden Ring before, and this is your first experience during the base game. So you can see as we come in here, there are certain NPCs that we can summon. We can even summon Patches, even though we murdered him, but he's going to run away. And in the arena, there are going to be summon signs on the ground for each of these NPCs, and if they die after a certain period of time, we'll be able to summon them again. So the plan getting in there is we're just going to go in there, we're going to summon NPCs, and we're going to talk through that strategy as well. And we're going to run around on Torrent, and where we feel it's safe, we're going to run in and hop off and, you know, whack them with the Bloodhound's Fang. Which, like I said, at this point, I'm still keeping it in at +6. So if you have a +9, you should have a little bit of an easier time. So we're just gonna say, ready as I'll ever be.
Before we begin,
and I'm gonna skip this because, you know, if you're doing your first playthrough, I'm not gonna ruin the cutscene for you. We're gonna come in here. There's one more piece of loot that we want to grab. Gonna roll through this stupid chair. There's usually a chair there. Anyway, this is gonna be a smithing stone 6. I'm gonna roll through these guys. All right, so Radon from a distance is going to shoot great arrows directly at you, like a railgun, a giant railgun. And when we first spawn into the arena, he's going to be shooting at us. And there's a strat that you can use where you like run away, mount torrent, and despawn him. Again, not beginner friendly. So what we are going to do is we are going to run in, and we're going to run directly in front of us. And there's going to be like a pile of debris with some summon signs on it, and we're going to run up to that, and that's going to shield us from his first arrow. Okay, then we are going to, pop the summons, and then we're going to iframe onto getting on torrent. So we can't do it here, but we're going to get on torrent, and the iframes will allow us to dodge his second one, and then we are just going to start running. He's going to keep shooting great arrows at us until we get close to him, and then he's going to do the rain of arrows, which is like a long line of arrows coming down. I'll point that out. And then we get close enough to him, he's just going to draw his swords and go into melee mode. Okay, so what we can do here is we can drink our flask, we can have a boiled crab, we're going to switch to our healing flasks, and we are going to go through the gate. And remember, when we spawn in, we want to start running immediately forward towards the debris right in front of us. Okay, so there's your dawn. Here comes the first great arrow. We're safe. So we're going to summon. Here comes the second one. We're going to iframe. I didn't even do that right. So again, worst case scenario. We're going to move. We're going to heal. Casual breeding, whatever. Got another summons there for Alexander. The loot I wouldn't grab. There's nothing really good. So again, we just want to run and summon as many people as we can. Okay? And they're going to start getting closer to him. We got Wilde there. Now that's the rain of arrows. And now he's in melee mode. So we can lock onto him, pop off, and start hitting him. And remember, I'm just R1 spamming. Nothing fancy, nothing like... You can get behind him and hit his horse. That's going to be really good. And just keep wailing on him as much as your stamina allows. He's about to fly away. So now what we want to do is he's going to come for us. So we want to run away. Ideally, you want to run a little bit more towards the water so that he comes and lands on us and not on our friends. Here's another summon sign that we can pull up a couple people, bring them back into the fight, and same plan. This time, if you want, stay on torrent, and we're just R1 spamming, and he's already dead. It really should be that simple. And this was a +6 Bloodhound's Fang. Well, he killed a bunch of them, and I'm going to let this cutscene play out. This is one of my favorites. This is Radon is, Star Scourge, so he's holding back the stars, and he's holding back the big guy there. It's going to land and take us underground to another underground zone, the Nightreign. Just a cool cutscene. I like to watch it every playthrough. That's just me. You can skip it if you want. Okay, so... Sorry, I had to sneeze there. So, just want to find the site of grace. If you want to talk to the NPCs, great. Blythe's right here. Alexander's right down the hill. I think we got enough. We got enough for a couple more levels. Let's see. 27. All right, we should be able to get 3 more. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 points of endurance. And then we will throw, I'm going to have to pop a rune. And then we'll throw 1 more point into vigor. Because why not? It's health, it's going to keep us alive. You can talk to him. He'll give you some more kind of lore about Radon. If you want to continue Alexander's quest line, you can go down the hill and talk to him. Talk about how he was a coward during the fight and he ran away and how brave we were. All right, so let's go get our 1 point into vigor. And at this point, we are level 71. I'm just going to run and talk to Alexander real quick.
I, on the other hand, 1 hit after that, and as such.
All right, so that'll advance his quest line if you care. And now we are going to hop on over to Limgrave, to Fort Height West. And this is where we are going to descend underground. So let's do that. And it doesn't matter if you make it daytime or nighttime. There are no night bosses here. We're heading underground in a minute anyway, so it's not going to really matter. So you want to head over this way. Kind of northwest heading. We're skirting the edge of the crater here. I can see I've got a mark somewhere that I need to get rid of. And you want to find where this starts sloping down. You can try to approach it from over there, but that side, you know, like, I was like, oh, I can just go down this way, and then I died. And I was like, not doing that again. So let's put on our lantern. It's a little dark. All right, so here, just hop on over. Don't hop too far and kill yourself like I almost did. You should be able to just drop off and then hop over. Okay, and then you want to come over here to the north, and then you're going to hop across again, and then you're going to get kicked off Torrent, and kind of here we are in Nightreign. You can go ahead and go straight ahead and just drop down, and then there's a little piece of loot we can come over here and grab to the right. Golden Rune 5, and then we're going to come all the way around over here. You see this over here, and you can just drop down. All right, another piece of loot. The support grease, that'll put people to sleep. Grab the melted mushroom. And there we go. We're in Nightreign and Turtle City. So you should be able to just drop. I want you to get used to hopping because some of these things have little gaps. All right, we're just going to go over here. Going to hop over here. And you can see it over there just above my helmet, the point of my helmet. That's going to be a mimic. It's not going to spawn into a character copy, but it is going to kind of wake up and become hostile. So we're going to come over here. We're just going to drop down and then hop across. And then you need to kill the mimic tier. Now, there's some other stuff that you can grab. I'm not worried about that. We're just heading through the zone. Okay? Nothing super important. Running heavy on this guy. 2 racks and he's dead. Again, more loot that you don't need. And this is why we're just running through. Because they're going to start chucking stuff at you. Drop down. And hop through. More loot that we don't need. Alright, so now these are kind of like what I would call formed mimics. These guys will aggro to you, so we're just going to wait and we're going to kind of talk about this. That doorway is where we want to proceed. There's a piece of loot down there, kind of behind me, that, you know, you can run back and grab. But through that doorway is a grace. So, you know, we're not going to mess around too much. Those guys have run through there. A couple of archers are going to stand up. We're just going to wait for them to pass and we're going to run through. Okay, again, if you want to go back and fight these guys, be my guest. They might come behind you if you drop down too close to one, in which case you'll have to fight them before you can rest. But now we're through with that part. So we're going to come out here to the courtyard. There's a piece of loot straight ahead there, just off to the left of the gazebo there. That is one of the Ghost Glove bell bearings, so we definitely want to grab that. And then this courtyard is just going to be kind of more of these kind of, I'll call them shambling mimics. We're just going to be kind of working our way around clockwise over towards this building on the outside, you know, killing them as they come up. So I'm going to lock onto this first one and just run over here and give him a big whoop. And some of these guys have great shields. You should be able to just poise through them. Grab the glovewort. I'm going to heal up because I'm getting whacked. They will chuck stuff at you. All right, now I've been frostbitten. And again, worst case scenario, me just kind of playing sloppy, didn't really matter. Took a few hits, nothing we can't handle. So we're gonna come over here. There's one guy over there in the distance. Whack him as he comes over. Love that running heavy still. Another one. And that's what I mean about being able to poise through the great shields. They have enough poise to deflect some of our hits, but if you just keep whacking them, you're going to be able to just poise right through them, break their poise, and beat them down. Okay, so Flask refill. Got this guy coming. We're walking away. Now he sees me. All right, there are two to our left, and then there's two more to the right. Go ahead and kill that guy. Snatch up the Ghost Glove 3s. Ducus herba and another melted mushroom. All right, so there's one there hidden in the bushes. So we're going to take him out first. And we're going to turn our attention to the last guy. And this is something you're going to want for the DLC right here. The Great Shield Soldier Ashes. This will summon, it's a regular summons, not a Grave Glovewort summons. So we got the Smithing 5. Grab the little loots there. This guy had a loot. Ducus herba. And we're just going to kind of clear our way through. There are a couple more guys in here. Just a regular heavy attack that's going to take him out. But again, light attacks work just fine. So larval tier. Come around the corner to the left. There are going to be a couple. So let's see if we can get this guy to aggro. So we can take him out. Silver tier husk. And there's going to be one over there. So now we're going to absorb the dude's full combo because I'm locked onto the wrong guy. I was going to say, there's one hiding in the bushes again. Now he's going to get up. Take him out. Refilled our flasks again. All right, so there's our Ghost Glove floor. We got a bunch of 3s and some 4s. Now we got some silver fireflies over here. Another melted mushroom. Firefly. And that one, you know, the water will kill you. Don't walk off the edge. One more Great Shield dude and a little bit of loot. So again, the 4th hit, it's going to break his guard. Smithing zone's 3, so don't really need that. All right, so now we've pretty much cleared the zone. We've made full circle around back to where we started. That's the doorway where we came out of with the Grace, and we're gonna head over there and we're gonna run through that doorway and down. And if for some reason you had a hard time you know, you can just rest and come back out here and run through. There's really only going to be this one guy right there that you're going to have to deal with. So anyway, moving right along. We're going to come over here. We're going to jog over to our right. And we're going to drop down over here. Because there are going to be some enemies coming up the stairs. And we're going to want to avoid them. Like a Nox swordstress, I think they're called. And this is a trap. You can run through real quick and grab this and then keep going for another larval tier. That's one of the items that allows you to respec. And then we're going to head for the fog gate. Drop on down and turn around. There's a loot right here for a rune arc. Okay, so if you know you have a great rune, you want to use that, go ahead. So this is a gimmick fight. This is a mimic, and this will exactly mimic what our character has on. So if you want to have a good scrap with the mimic, go right ahead. They're going to have everything that you have. You know, have a good time. But I am going to be a little cheeky, and I'm going to take off all my weapons and half my armor, and then we're going to go through, because this, remember, I said beginner friendly. We are going to go through. So what we are going to do is we are going to summon our imps, refill our flask, okay, and then what you need to do, don't put anything back on yet, head for the silver blob. All right, now it's going to spawn into a carbon copy of you, and I'm just jogging back over to my imps, and it's going to start coming towards me, and I am going to put my equipment on while the and that's what I mean about, like, I like the fanged imps early on because they can proc bleeds. We saw a bleed proc real quick from their weapon right there, and I'm just, you know, beating myself down. Got the heal, another bleed proc. Get the mimic into a corner and just bully him. No more heals for you. All right, and we're all done. And that's going to spawn a grace, and we're going to another larval tier and the silver tier mask that boosts arcane. You ever want to try out something and don't have quite enough arcane before you get to the DLC, you can just use that. So we are going to go ahead and touch the grace. And now I'm going to put the rest of my stuff back on. I'm going to put on my dagger. I'm going to put on my claw mark seal. I'm going to put on our turtle shell shield. And none of this stuff is leveled up. Like, we're not using any offensive spells. You know, but if we were, you could level up the claw mark seal. It scales from strength and faith, which, you know, we're doing okay in. Really, right now, most of our damage is coming from our weapon, and the fact that it's +6, or in a lot of y'all's cases, +9. We're going to come out here. We're going to proceed. We're going to hop on Torrent now. There's going to be a shiny on the bridge just past that rubble that you're going to want to watch out for, and then go ahead and track it down. 3 whacks and it's dead. That's another number 5. The rest of this loot is garbage loot. You can grab it if you want. Golden Rune 4. I think that's worth 1,200. Not really that important. But anyway, we are just going to keep proceeding down through to get our Mimic tier. That's what we're really after. There are a couple things that I'm going to do to make it easier. You can see a couple of enemies. Keep walking down there. There's a pillar that we can light. This is like the other underground zone where there are pillars that you light and you can go and fight a boss. If you come down here to the end and then you can see the pillar, we're just going to drop on down. Okay, and then we're going to hop off Torrent. Or light the pillar. And what this is allowing to happen is those enemies are going to move away. And if we had dropped down immediately, we would have had to fight those guys. Now they're kind of over here, and we can just run around and avoid them. We're going to light this one because, again, it's on the way. And they did not aggro. And we're going to proceed along. Somebody aggroed. Somebody shot an arrow at me. There's another glove wart we want to grab right there. Ghost glove wart 4, so you should have a couple of those. And there's another pillar over here. And we are just here grabbing another glove wart 4. And then we're circling back around, grab the Trina's Lily. And don't, go too far into this area over there. There's a red wolf over there. That will be annoying. Again, we're just kind of cutting a wide loop so that we can come over here and light this. And you can see they're coming. Now we're going to head right over there towards that faint glow, right at the little crevice. There's a grace. So hop off, touch the grace. Rest at the grace, make sure nobody's following you. And we're done. And we're going to kind of sprint through this next area. So we're going to come here. We're going to hop across. And we're going to hop across again. And walk around. And this is like, oh, there's loot down there. I should jump over and get it. Route of progression. You're going to go ahead and do this. Rejuvenating boluses. That gets rid of death blight buildup. You want to hop up. Because if you hop over, you see like how I almost went over the edge? Don't, I've done that. Don't do that. So this next part, there are 2 mimics, and they are going to spawn. So what we're going to do is we are going to cheese the first one, and we are going to back up over here. They've got a crossbow. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to bait them over. All right, we can still hear them shooting over there, so we're going to hop across. Try and see if we can get them to jump off. All right, and she is not jumping off. So this is, again, worst case scenario. What do? He's not jumping off, Willy. What do I do? There's nowhere for me to go but forward. Yes, you are correct. So this is a little dangerous because she does have the crossbow out. What we need to do is we need to jump across. Eventually, she should stop shooting like that and start backing up a little bit. See if we can get her to jump off again. Nope, she's just going to patrol. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to hop across, and I'll do it while she's shooting. Go ahead and hop across. Okay, and then just run. And this one's going to sprout into another one. Don't care. Just run. Head for this corner. It's a straight walk off, and now there's going to be a drop off. You can see that kind of crumbling wall, but we have a nice wide platform to drop down on. And then you're just going to run across. Okay? And they're leashed. They should not be able to follow us that far. Actually, one of them fell and died trying to follow. You look down, you can see all the little mimics down there. That's what we're going to come to next. But first, hop in here and just drop down and go over here to the left. And come over here. And that's the black knife wet blade. And I'm really praying that we have enough stone sword keys because I did not check before we came down here. We do. So if you're following the walkthrough, you should be good. Remember, before you come down here from Fort Height, get another one. So we're going to go into, get rid of that message, go into sneaky mode, lock on, and then we're just going to come up and grab a backstab. And then you should just be able to heavy attack and even just 2 light attacks and she should be dead. And that is going to be our mimic tier. Okay, so a little bit more to do. Let's grab this loot. We got to get to another grace where we're safe. We're going to come over here to this window where you can see that dude across from you. And you can look down and see stuff. Okay, so we're going to hop up. And you should be able to hop down here, no problem. and grab that. Now this, there's a gap, okay? So what you want to do is you want to run and jump the gap. So B button if you're on an Xbox controller, run and hop across. A regular jump should do it. And then we're just going to take this thing out so it doesn't follow us in. And we're going to hop through this window. And this is the Nox Blowing Hammer. So now we have a couple of enemies in here, 3 as a matter of fact. We have another Nox Swordstress right there. We can lock onto her. There's a ball that's beneath this pathway here. And then there's another Nox Swordstress around the corner right over there, locked onto her. So what we want to do is we're heading through that doorway, and then we're going to turn right and go down some stairs and grab a grace. And that's where we're gonna wrap up. And that's all we want to do. So we just want to hop on down over here. And then we're just going to run, very beginner friendly. And they're going to be leashed by the stairs. So they should not, even if they follow you out, they shouldn't be able to come all the way down. They're not following. So we're going to touch the grace here. And, you know, this episode, 31 minutes. I'm trying to keep them 30 minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and wrap up here. And we'll pick up here again to continue.